So for today, we'll go through the app first. All, I think that it will be about 15 minutes. We'll go to the app. There's a feature for fixing the auto tracking or changing it, updating it. Of course, this update is not necessarily as focused on features because this is an extra update. We all have experienced some issues, and that's the reason why we're releasing a next update, hopefully next week. So the features are a little bit more limited for this one, but in the future, when we have more features, the webinars will guide you through them as we go. We will also be discussing the LP portal. We'll mostly discuss the older changes. So we've had 2 different design changes in the last month. We'll go through them and also give a little bit of an idea of why we made these changes and how that will look like in the future. We'll also be creating a bug report form to hopefully help you guide through issues in the future as well. So to start off with the app, the changes to the app will mostly be fixes to the issues that we have been experiencing. So a common one being the GPS inaccuracy, as well as polygons that have not been saved properly. But we have added one new feature to which was requested to hopefully help optimize and make the experience a bit better. And that is when you are collecting via auto tracking, and auto tracking is for most of our projects the norm. So while you're walking, it's putting down markers automatically. What we do see is that, of course, especially with larger polygons, this is quite a large load. So there are a lot of markers in case editing is necessary. Editing takes a very long time. So we have reduced the amount of markers and optimized how they are put. This happens not during the tracking. So while you're tracking, you will experience the same process that you have had previously, but while saving, selecting the save button, the polygon will be optimized, which means that we calculate, for example, on these straight lines. So if you here see the straight line, the amount of markers will be limited. This optimization only happens once. So after you've collected and saved, then it will be optimized. If you choose to edit your polygon later on, it will not be optimized. So you do not need to worry about having any changes besides the one that you would prefer. This will look as followed. So another disclaimer, of course, this is our testing environment. With all our demonstrations, we use our testing environment. So the data you're seeing is fake. This means that in this case, we're seeing some overlap that is not, that you will, of course, not experience. But to give you an idea, this person is using auto tracking and creating a polygon. While they go along, we can see that they already have added 23 markers in quite a short amount of time, right? As they go on, we'll notice that eventually they will start to save the polygon. And upon saving the polygon, we'll notice that the markers have reduced. So if your data collectors have indeed seen, here we see that now the markers have been reduced to 22 markers. And these are mostly done on the straight lines, right? So if you're walking on a straight line, instead of having multiple, it will put a few. So if your data collectors are noticing markers missing, this is not a bug. This is actually a feature that was requested given the amount of time that it does take to edit plots that are larger, especially with auto tracking. As we always say, we fully support auto tracking. In general, these give the best quality of polygons, but of course we understand that if it does make the time of editing extra long, we need, of course, to help you in how we can change that. If you do have any questions regarding the app, please put it in the chat. Otherwise, we will go further to the portal, and at the end, we will have a moment for this as well. So the LP portal. Most of this is going to be a recap of what has happened in the last month. So as you remember, this was, I think, how a lot of people remember the LP portal. We have a farm overview and we have different statuses. So statuses ranging from awaiting collection, collecting, complete, and enrolled. And of course, this was the logic behind needs action. So what we've seen recently is that now we've had syncing statuses. These syncing statuses had to do with a very big change that we've had in our system. I think we have mentioned this a few times, but for those who haven't heard, we've had a change, I think, about at the beginning of September, which is a very technical change, which had quite a big impact. We see that on the portal as well as in the app. And of course, that's why we're now working on a new release. But what you could have seen was a validation status. This validation status temporarily impacted your needs actions. So it could have been that your numbers under needs actions were different than what you've experienced previously. Now, the new update, we see that the syncing status has been removed, and these do not impact needs action anymore. The logic that you've had previously with the different statuses ranging, of course, from awaiting collection to collected and complete, is the same logic that exists in the portal now. The only difference is that we see a different interface. And this, of course, is not without reason. We hope to help you in optimizing your progress when it comes to collection. So this will showcase the different stages of collection ranging from assigning a data collector all the way to plot information. Just a small reminder, again, this is, of course, our testing environment, so this is fake data. Here it will mention that plots that are collected are invalid. Here we will see that some farmer data is invalid. This, of course, could be the participant agreement or the data sharing consent. The idea of this is that hopefully in the future, what we're going to do is we're going to optimize this to better represent your data. An example of that is the deforestation check, which now is often seen in the data management portal. The data management portal will show if a farmer has field deforestation, which will block, of course, the participation in the Acorn program. This then in the future will be represented via these as well. So though for now it's only an interface change, the logic hasn't changed, so you do not need to worry about data being affected. This is just a stepping stone for hopefully helping you in the future. The last thing that we would like to discuss is the bug report form. So coming this quarter, we expect in about a month and a half, we will have a bug report form. As many of you know, if you are experiencing an issue, we do this via three ways. Via email, you can reach us, via WhatsApp, and often via an individual call. For those who have noticed, sometimes when sending us information, there is a bit of back and forth before we have all the information necessary to research the problem and start fixing it. So to help you as a user and help us to better understand the issue, we have created a bug report form. This will be a link that will send you to the website where you can fill in all information regarding the issue you are having. So that will be sent to us, and after that we will communicate back to you. This will have the option of adding pictures and videos as well, and hopefully save you time and energy with our communication overall. We hope to increase our efficiency when it comes to support with this report form. So as we mentioned, of course, this webinar today is less about large changes. In the future, we will be talking more about features. So as we are focusing right now on stability, the only feature, the real new feature that we've mentioned is the optimization of polygons. When in the future we have bigger visual changes, before every update, we will have a short webinar going through them where you can ask questions. We know that at the moment that there are a lot of issues that we are working on, and that will be the new release. So before we open up the door for Q&A, we would like to mention that if you have very specific questions for your project, please let us know, and we can plan an individual call. But if you have some more global questions, higher up that might be interesting for the rest as well, please let us know, and we can open up the floor to anyone who'd like. Please let us know. Are there any questions?